we got something really cool for you guys today. We're going to do a crazy character concept idea using just a t-shirt, some black paint, and a little bit of fake blood. All right, stay tuned. What's up, guys? Brian Calk, Freakonomics.com. Today, we're going to jump right into this. We're going to do a character concept makeup I did for one of my photo shoots way back, and it uses a t-shirt, some black paint, and a little bit of fake blood, all right? And this is going to look insane, I promise you, okay? So here's what's going to happen. We're going to bring it down on the floor, and what we're going to do is you're going to take your t-shirt, and you're going to take a pair of scissors, and you're just going to cut big, long strips of this t-shirt all the way down the middle, and then we'll cut it off at the top, okay? So one big long, so there's one you have to kind of cut to get started, and then we're going to cut these all down the front. We're going to fast forward it right here so we can get you to the end part. All right, so essentially I've cut out the front of the shirt, okay? Now I'm gonna cut from the sleeves across, lengthwise, okay? So I'm gonna lay this down on the back, and I'm going to cut across the back here to get the long strips. Make sure when you get cut around the neck, you want to cut the tag off. You don't want a t-shirt tag sticking out for everybody to see. All right, back to the fast stuff. All right, so now we have all these strips of t-shirts, all right? I'm gonna bring in my victim, I guess, Josh, and we're gonna start showing you how to apply this to the face. All right, so we're back. Essentially what we're gonna do, we have all these torn pieces of t-shirt, and we have Josh. Okay, you do need a Josh to pull this effect off, by the way. All right, I'm gonna have Josh just kind of hold out his arm, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start to take these strips and tie them around his face, okay? So this is very random. There's no real method or science behind it. If you get a couple small pieces that may not reach, just grab another small piece, tie it together in a knot. You want this to look really, really rough, okay? Really rough. So I'm going to tie these pieces like this, and of course you just do the knot in back or wherever, and we're just going to tie them randomly on the face, all right? So we're going to speed this up and enjoy the fast motion. All right, so this last one, I just tied around the neck to kind of bring it all together. What we wanted is you want this just torn, ratted, knotted look, okay? So what this is gonna be, this is a very abstract creature. It kind of looks like a mummy right now, but not quite, because we're getting ready to screw it all up, okay? What we're gonna do next, we're gonna give him that, I'm kind of going for like this, this psychotic, loony bin, psych ward type of patient, okay? So we're gonna give him a big old bloody smile. We're gonna do some stitches going across the face, and we're gonna do some detail work with the black, okay? So here's essentially what we're going to do. We have all this white. We want to dirty it up a little bit, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take some brown paint. So I have just some normal, this is just brown paint. You use acrylic, whatever you have. I'm going to drop a little bit of water into it, okay? And I'm going to use this really rough looking brush, okay? But here's the trick. I get the paint on there. See how there's just a little bit on there, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper towel. In this case, I have these extra shirt scraps sitting right here. Work fine. I'm going to wipe the majority of the paint off of the brush. So what I get left with is this dry brush type of dirty look, okay? So what you want to do is it's going to be this battle of kind of getting the paint on the brush, wiping the real wet stuff off, and really dry brushing over top of this. Okay, what this does is it gives it a dirty, beat-up look. Okay, a little darker there, but it ages the t-shirt a little bit with the brown, especially if you're using this for Halloween or a haunted house. You kind of want more of a high contrast makeup. You want it to look dirtier, okay? So because it's usually used in a dark setting or the light's not real great, okay? So I'm just going to make my way around this. We're going to speed it up, and we'll show you the next step here. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is I'm making the switch. I kind of dry brush the white to kind of break it up and make it not look so new. And what I'm doing now is I'm going to paint a little bit on his face. So I'm going to grab my brown paint, okay, that I have sitting in my kit here. Now you could use a cream paint, whatever you got. I'm not using the acrylic on his face just because this is obviously meant for face. It's going to stick a little bit better. So I'm going to spritz my water on this. Again, if you have cream paint, whatever you have works fine. I'm going to grab my sponge that I used for the last makeup job. And I'm just going to fill in this face right here with a little bit of brown. And then if you have, close your eye, Josh. So I'm just browning out everything through here. I could have done this on the whole face, but the thing is I never know how the design's going to end up turning out. So I always just kind of play it by ear and brown it as I go, okay? So now you have this kind of torn look like that, all right? Now, what I'm going to do is the cool part, okay? I'm going to start kind of painting this design over top of what we have going on here. So I'm going to turn his face just kind of like this, all right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my paintbrush, and I'm going to grab a little bit of black. Now, in this case, you could use black acrylic because we're painting on this. I like using actual face paint, grease paint for this. You could also paint on that with grease paint. It doesn't matter. But I find acrylic paint doesn't smudge as much on the shirt once it's dried, okay? So I'm going to grab my water bottle here, get a little bit of black paint. Now we're start doing some what I call the busy work to just kind of give it a little bit more of a design, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of bring the black up and over. And this can be done really, really rough. Like I said, acrylic works better on this. But this is what I have. It could be a grease paint. It could be whatever. And I'm going to split this off over here. There's no pattern on this, okay? I'm just taking these black lines and kind of moving them all over the place. Okay, all over the place. And then I do my stitch marks going up it. Now, this is not complicated stuff, guys. It's really not, but it is very hard hitting in the dark or in a haunted house or you're trying to scare the crap out of your roommate. I don't care. This will do the trick, all right? So I'm going to put a couple stitches down here. Continue maybe going up across here a little bit. The key is to be just very rough looking, okay? Very, very, very rough looking. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to come back and I'm going to grab my red. Okay, so my red with a little bit of black mixed in it, kind of like a little bit of a blood tone, kind of. But I want this really deep red. I'm mixing a little bit of black with it. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this really deep, deep shade of red, and I'm going to kind of paint this kind of a really kind of sin-eating grin on his face. Okay, so you want this to be really wet, if Josh couldn't tell. Okay, and very rough. And we'll show you how to do your blood splatters on this thing in a second. So it's this kind of a smile coming from the corner. And this is rough. All right, I'm going to grab a little bit more water because you want this to be really runny. And I'm going to kind of hook this smile back into the face a little bit. Kind of like the Joker smile in a way. Just kind of a distorted way of doing it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I kind of put a few of these drips in here. Get some of my blacks. So you kind of got this drippy looking smile coming through here. And again, the whole point of this is to be very abstract, okay? The more abstract, the more their imaginations can fill in what it is, the better. Your job is just to be very eerie, okay? So now we have this kind of a smile going here, going across the face. I'm going to take a little bit more from my darker shade of red I have on this paint palette right here. I'm going to just hook it back just a little bit. Really make this stand out, this smile stand out. Okay. Now, we're going to take a stipple sponge and we're going to hit a little bit of blood where the flesh is. A little bit of blood. Now, this is the blood we made earlier. This is just the corn syrup blood we made earlier with that formula that you can, if you click on the link below, it'll take the video that has this on there, okay? And what I'm going to do is I just take the stipple sponge and I dip it in the blood, okay? And then I'm just going to stipple little bits of blood to break up this side of his face just a little bit, okay? And now he's delicious, technically, because this is syrup, so he's edible now. And you can bring it up into the design of the fabric if you'd like. You can bring it down into here. The key is to make this look as rough as possible, okay? As rough as possible. You want it to look kind of maniac looking, okay? So I got a little bit of blood. I'm batting them up into here and whatnot, okay? Now this look, it's simple. There's nothing too crazy going on here, but mark my words, man. You jump at somebody wearing this thing, it works every time, okay? Every time. And what it does, it creates this really abstract looking maniac that kind of was like sitting in the psych ward, okay? This, with the right costume and the right actor, will destroy people's nightmares, okay? And I want to show you guys a quick cutaway. This is actually a photo. I used similar makeup on one of my other friends, and this was for a photo shoot for a company, and it's the same exact kind of getup, but we just lit it correctly, and of course I had a really good photographer take it. But that's kind of like the effects you can do with this. It's simple, it's effective. It's not a professional thing. Anybody can do this. You had a straight jacket on with this, or a white sweatshirt with some torn up belts or something on it. This would be a huge, wicked concept to throw running at somebody in a haunted attraction or Halloween, okay? So all you need is t-shirt paint and some blood, and you can make your abstract maniac just like this, all right? I hope you guys like it. If you're looking for really good tutorials, even better than some of these right here on YouTube, make sure you click on the link below. It'll take you to freakonomics.com, and make sure you check out the tons and tons of haunted house information and Halloween information we have waiting for you on the other side, all right? I'm Brian Calicay. Thanks to my victim here, Josh. We'll see you guys on the next video.